Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video that I've ever done. So I'm currently in my bathroom and recording on my phone. So please be kind. So this is gonna be, my first video is gonna be an intro video and where I'm at in my TTC journey. So to get started, about a year ago in July, a little under a year ago, my husband and I decided that we wanted to try for our third baby. We currently have a 5-year-old boy and a 19-year-old boy as well. And we wanted to try for our third. He was around 10 months old, and we figured it could probably take a while, and so we wanted to get started right away. I went to my doctor's on July 7th, 2016, and had my Nexaplan birth control removed. From there, about 2 weeks later, I had spotted, I had started what I thought was my period, but it only lasted 2 days, which was kind of odd to me because anytime I've ever I had the implant on with my older son, and then I had it removed, and then we conceived my younger son, and I never had any issues with spotting like that, but I figured hormones change, everything changes, it's different. So I spotted for 2 days and thought maybe I would have a bigger flow a couple days later or next month or whatever. So about 4 weeks later, my husband was in Illinois picking up my mom. She was coming to Florida to live with us. And I was currently tracking ovulation as we were going to start trying. And I had found an old HCG pregnancy test, just a cheap internet one in the cabinet. And I thought, why not? Well, it ended up positive, which was a huge shock. We had had sex one time since my birth control was removed. One time. And I fell pregnant. So everything was going well with the pregnancy up until about 10 weeks. I had bought a home Doppler, and I had bought it offline. I got it for like $30. It was right around my 10-week mark, and I started using it, but I couldn't find the heartbeat. And 10 weeks is very, very early for home Dopplers. So if you use one and you cannot find the heartbeat at 10 weeks, it does not mean there's something wrong. In my case, there was. But in many, many, many cases, even when I went to the doctor's about 2 weeks after that and had told him I had used a home Doppler and I couldn't find the heartbeat before he even put his Doppler on my belly, he had said many professionals can't even find them that early. So went to my 12-week appointment, told him about I couldn't find the heartbeat. He was searching and searching and searching, and he couldn't find it. So we did an ultrasound and ended up finding out that baby's heartbeat was not beating. I was supposed to be 12 weeks. The baby measured about 10. So right around when I got the Doppler is when the baby had passed. So I had to do a DNC procedure about 6 days later because of the fact that we were in Florida and it was the same week as Hurricane Matthew and everything was shutting down. So I had to wait 6 days to actually get the DNC procedure, which I can talk about a DNC procedure in another video if that's something that anybody's interested in. So we decided after that we wanted to start trying again right away, but we did take a month off. So in December, we started trying again, didn't fall pregnant. January, didn't fall pregnant. And then in February, I can't remember the specific dates, but in February, I had taken a pregnancy test right around 10 DPO, and I was positive. Very, very faint, but it was there. Kept testing, and they were positive, but they never really got darker. And I know that there's a lot of people out there and a lot of women that say it doesn't matter if your tests get darker. That doesn't mean that the HCG is rising or not rising. But for me, I've had 2 boys, and when I test, those tests are dark. And these were very light, or they were at least light and then got really, really dark. So for me, I was a little concerned the fact that the test was pretty light and it wasn't getting any darker. So at about 16 days past ovulation, I called my doctor and pretty much begged for a beta blood test to see what my levels were. And at 16 DPO, they came back at 13, which is very low. And then 2 days later, I went to go get another beta, but actually the next day after my first beta, I had started bleeding. So I had what they called was a chemical pregnancy, was just a really early miscarriage. After that, I was flat out pissed. pissed at my body. I was pissed at the world. I was pissed at my husband, my friends. I mean, it was not anyone's fault. It wasn't even my fault. But I was irritated that I've had 2 boys and now my body isn't working. What's wrong? What is there something wrong? No one's doing anything. I've had 2 miscarriages now. No one's like, I feel like no one was really reaching out to help me. So in March, I decided to make another doctor's appointment to discuss my fertility concerns. And the doctor had wanted to schedule a hysteroscopy, which was going to check my uterine lining and was going to take a biopsy of my endometrial tissue to see if there was anything wrong in that sense. So I had that scheduled for April, but then all of a sudden I started having a ton of bladder issues, which is a whole nother story. So that's another story. So I pushed back the hysteroscopy until this month, July 6th. And that was, like I said, I've had to go see a urogynecologist for my bladder issues. And at this point, they still don't know what's going on. But actually, I've been getting better. So I'm still in the process of trying to figure that all out. So I pushed the hysteroscopy back to July 6th. And on Father's Day, June 15th, I would have been about 9 days past ovulation. My husband and I went that day to grab some 88-cent Walmart cheap tests. And we were going to wait to test that following Wednesday, which would have put me at like 11 or 12 days past ovulation. And we thought that would have been a better chance of coming up positive than at 9 days past ovulation. But I didn't listen. And I took a test and I saw a very, very faint line. Like if I took a picture of it, you wouldn't have been able to see it. But my husband also saw it and he never sees lines. So he said, we have more tests that we bought, tests in the morning. Because our plan was, and in March when we went with my doctor, as soon as I saw a positive test, I wouldn't have to beg for a beta. I was to go in, get the beta, no question. Stat, no question. So the next morning it was darker. It was there, not extremely dark, but it was darker than that night previous. And I went and got a beta. So my doctor's office kind of frustrated me a little bit. They did a stat beta, stat HCG, and a stat progesterone on that Monday, and I actually didn't even find out what they were until the following day, which anybody that's had losses or anybody that's been trying to conceive for a long time, when you get a stat order, you think you're going to get the results that day, and I didn't, so I was a little frustrated. So Tuesday, it was like 2:30, I still hadn't heard from the office, and I was like, I'm over this. So I called, and the lady said the doctor hadn't read the order. However, she told me the results anyway. And at about what I would have been right around 9 to 10 days past ovulation, it was a 9.8, and my progesterone was 14.2. I freaked. To me, that was really, really low, 9.8. However, looking back, 9.8 at 9 to 10 days DPO, that number really didn't matter. It was whether or not it was going to double from there on. So I went and got an HCG Wednesday, and that was 36, so it more than doubled within 48 hours. And then also on that Friday, I went and got another beta, and it was 97, so it more than doubled again from the 36. So we are currently pregnant. I'm so excited, but I'm so extremely nervous. Every day is a day that I'm definitely blessed for. I made it farther this time than I had with my February pregnancy. My lines are a lot darker, which make me happy and makes my husband happy too. Some of my symptoms I currently have is I do have some light cramping. It's not anything crazy. I am taking progesterone vaginal suppositories. I have to do that every night, and I know that you could possibly spot with that, so I'm just hoping I don't, because I'm not the right person, because I'll be freaking out. But I know that it is common, so if it happens, I'll have to figure that out when it happens. But symptom-wise, I was very nauseous and very sick with both my boys, but that didn't hit till about 6 or 8 weeks with both of them. So that's coming. I'm well aware of that. And like I said, light cramping, but not anything crazy. I cramped with both my boys. A lot of women cramp early pregnancy. The baby is still snuggling in there, doing what it needs to do. So I'm trying just to stay calm with that and understanding that I'm not bleeding with the cramping, and the cramping's not, and it comes and goes. It'll be here for like a half hour, and then it'll be like later at night I'll get it. So it's not like a constant cramp or anything like that. So I'm trying to just try to relax with that. So what I plan on doing with this channel is doing some updates every couple weeks when I'm in my early stages. God willing, I make it past the first trimester this time. I will plan on doing more probably weekly updates on where I'm at with my symptoms, how the baby's doing and all that. But for right now in these early stages, probably every couple weeks. Our next appointment is July 11th for an ultrasound. I should be about 6 weeks and 2 or 3 days. I'm really, 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 really hoping. I know that's extremely early, and some women may see a heartbeat, some don't. But I'm really hoping to see a heartbeat. We're really, really hoping for that. So that's our next appointment, and we're anxiously waiting for that. It seems like it's forever away, but I know that it's like 16 days away or something like that. I'm counting down, of course. So we are just waiting for that. So this is my pretty test. I took this one this morning because I bought a packet. When I first started testing on Father's Day, I actually only tested with 88-cent Walmart tests because in February I probably spent like $70 on tests and the pregnancy didn't last and I was irritated. So this time I just told myself, nah, I'm not doing it. So I only tested maybe 4 or 5 times in the week. And then Friday, today's Sunday, and Friday I went and got first response because I was like, I need to at least test one time, but I bought a box of 2. That's all there was, honestly. So, yeah, I stare at these lines all the time, and I just, it's like, it just gives me hope just to keep pushing and keep going forward with, and just praying that this baby sticks. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any future videos you want to see, I'm just getting started. I'm not a really good technological person, so I have a lot to learn with YouTube and videos. I'm hoping to get a camera here in the next 6 months, next couple months maybe, and be able to do more editing and stuff like that, but I don't even know if that's going to happen. So this is really a way for my husband and I to look back and see what it's been like, or what kind of journey. I mean, I know we know, but it's going to be cool to look back and look at these videos and see where we started, and hopefully going to have our rainbow baby in our arms. So I'm currently due March 3rd. My oldest son's birthday is March 11th, and then my husband's is March 31st. So as long as this baby sticks, we're going to have 3 in March, which is kind of crazy. So that's that. Have a good day.